Why don't we talk about what the spirits on the other side of this portal are? So we've got people who are lingering after death. Are they ghosts? And then we've got the beast. What is the beast?
I would say the beast is a demon.
Demon. Yeah. Yeah, I think she even says it at some point, it disguises itself as a kid, but it's a monster, it's a demon. There's definitely some spiritualism when it comes to that. It is God versus Satan, good versus evil, and this is evil.
Yeah, it's using Carol Ann to restrain and just prevent all these other spirits from crossing over, is what it's doing.
Yeah, my premise on what the Bible is about, the beginning of the Bible is about God creating a family, right? So he creates angels first. Actually, in the Old Testament, they were called the gods, lowercase g.
Mhm.
So he creates the gods, which we call angels today, and then he creates humans. So Satan's jealous, doesn't like humans, gets them kicked out of the garden. In the movie here, I'm thinking that the beast, this Satan figure, is trying to recruit people so they don't go into God's family. He's recruiting his own forces. Is he doing that? Is he feeding on these spirits? Why keep them here?
He's evil, whatever. I mean, that's the only thing I think of. If the demon is working for Satan, he doesn't want these souls to go to heaven, so he's like, well, I'm just going to hold on to them here. Someday they'll be released, but right now, me holding on to them is spiting God.
Just some kind of rebellion against God,
Yeah.
and that's what the beast is. Okay. Now, we talked about this on the Night House podcast too. We actually dove into like the ancient Jewish understanding of these different types of spirits because they had different categories. They had a category that could possibly be ghosts, a spirit that was once human. So one of the fascinating things for me, since I'm a theology nerd, was to try to figure out what type of being, what type of spirit is the beast. And there's two possibilities. It could be God, lowercase g, like what we would think of as a fallen angel, or it could be a demon, because those are actually not the same thing in the Jewish religion. There was a paper I was reading recently, though, that it was called When Did Angels Become Demons? I found it on JSTOR.org. Basically, they traced people's understanding of these different spirits. In the ancient Jewish religion, there were different categories of spirits, different types. And in the 2nd century, Christians found this really complicated. There was a language barrier. So they started lumping them all into either angel or demon. But there's really different classes, categories of angels, and there's different types of evil spirits. So evil spirit and demon are basically the same thing. But Satan is a god, lowercase g, or fallen angel. He is not actually a demon according to the original Jewish interpretation. But today we say he's a demon. Like nobody really knows those ancient definitions anymore. So when I was watching this, I mean, the difference is the gods, those were who were present in the Garden of Eden, who rebelled. And demons are like the children of the gods, the fallen angels. The gist, though, is demons, evil spirits, and the fallen angels like Satan, they all have the same goal. Their whole goal is to disrupt what God's trying to do with humans. So either way, they're really, the same thing. Whether or not the beast is a god or a demon, it doesn't really matter. But thinking of the beast as a god, that might be a new term to people now. But really, like an ancient Jew, that's probably how they would view this situation. So basically, they're just trying to keep people from getting to God. So keep people from going into the light in this movie, keep people from getting to heaven, cause chaos.
Yeah.
That's my nerdathon. Like, I'm watching this movie, I'm like, oh, I got to figure out what kind of beings they are. Like, I don't know. I thought that was a hook for me.
Makes sense.
Cool.
Totally makes sense. What's going on?
I should mention, too, that ghosts are mentioned quite a bit in the Bible. There's no real statement on whether or not they're real or not. But if you read Mark chapter 6, that story about Jesus walking on the water, like his followers think he's a ghost. So it does make you wonder. And in the ancient Jewish religion, like a lot of them did believe in ghosts, even if it wasn't an official part of the Jewish religion. So I guess I'd say the Bible's kind of mum on whether or not ghosts exist. So when I see the ghost in this movie, like I don't necessarily view this as incompatible with Christianity, but that's what I think is so interesting when Tangina says, "Will you do everything I ask, even if it is contrary to your beliefs as a human being and as a Christian?"